So happy and yeah,
Awesome.
and thankful to take this opportunity.
Okay, thank you so much. So, Isaga, I'll just quickly set some context. Firstly, thank you for taking out time and joining this call. I'm Vipanchi. I'm one of the co-founders of Novator. I myself am an architect based out of India. And
Oh,
sorry,
mhm.
can you is my voice not coming through?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's
I think
okay.
the connection was unstable for a bit. Okay. So, Isaga, I am Vipanchi. I'm one of the co-founders at Novator. I am
Mhm.
an architect myself and based out of India. And Novator also was definitely started from, a need that we also felt as Indian architects that there's definitely a lot of new technology coming, and we really need to bring together a community of professionals and people who are interested to learn these technologies to sort of take things forward. So that was why we did it. I think as an architect I can definitely relate to a lot of the parts where suddenly a lot of new tools and technologies come up and you have to stay updated continuously, and it might sometimes be a nightmare just trying to keep up. Yeah, and Isaga, in terms of the context of this call, so I know that you are an alumni at Novator, and
Yeah.
we found that. So one is that we definitely want to get to know more of our learners and our alumni,
Yeah.
especially to share their story with the world. And
Yeah.
apart from that, because I think a lot of people are scared to start, and somewhere, it can really inspire a lot of people understanding the stories. And the second
Yeah.
is that I also wanted to just understand your experience, and I'll be
Yeah.
probably asking a lot of questions. But please, one thing I would say is that don't think of this call as something where I just want to hear like the nice parts. I would love to
Yeah.
learn everything about you and your experience. You can add the bad bits too. I would be more than happy to take that as a form of learning.
Okay, no problem. I understand, and yeah, I am ready to share with you my history, and I will so hear your question. So
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. So I'll just start with first, if you could, before we get into the aspect of, currently what you're doing, I
mhm.
would love to understand your background. And when I
Yeah,
say that, what I would love to understand is like, how did you get into architecture? Uh,
architect.
and a bit about, maybe where you're from and
Yeah.
how, if that impacted, your choice of architecture. Would love to
Mm.
maybe first start with an 18-year-old Isaga before we come to the current times.
Yeah. So thank you, Mrs. Anda, for organizing this meeting. So I am Senegalese, and as you may know, every African children, their dream is to be professional football player, soccer player.
Oh, wow.
And yes, uh, I must explain that I come from a not very poor but modest background. I mean,
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
and my dream was to be football player. But we had our father. Our father was really he motivated us to go to school. You know,
Hmm.
he paid for us money to go to private school. Even he was not very rich, but all his children went to private school. I
Okay.
mean, in the primary school before going to high school.
Hmm.
And yeah, I went to private school, and then when I went to high school, uh, I was wondering when I go through Dakar, when I see tall buildings, and there is one famous architect in Senegal or in Africa.
Hmm.
His name is Pierre Goudiaby Atepa. If you Pierre
Sorry, could you
Goudiaby
repeat
Atepa.
that?
His name is Pierre
Okay,
Goudiaby
okay,
Atepa.
okay.
He's one of the famous architect, yeah, in Africa, in Senegal.
Hmm.
He and there was the tallest building in Dakar is a bank, BCAO. And
Okay.
my father was working nearby this tall building. I was very impressed by this building.
Hmm.
So to say that this is the guy who make influence on me, I didn't meet him, I don't know him, but to hear this, that he designed this building, inspired me or pushed me to take part to this national competition, because
Okay.
in Senegal they used to, because there was no architecture school in Dakar, in Africa.
Hmm.
So the architects was sent to abroad in France, because Senegal is an ancient French colony. And there was during the high school, the last year of high school, a national competition which was organized, and I was lucky to be part of the five who was chosen to get government scholarship to go in France, in Paris. It was 1989. I look very young, huh? but I'm
Yeah.
old. But I'm old school. I'm yeah. So this is how I landed to architecture. So I get this chance to get this internship or sponsorship from the government. We were five. They sent us to France. Three of us was in Paris. The two others in Marseille. So that's how I started architecture.
Very interesting. I think that's very interesting because like I think definitely you look very young. I think when you
Yeah,
mentioned
yeah,
the year,
yeah,
suddenly it put things into context. But
yeah.
that I think that's a compliment for sure. So
Thank you.
so now in terms of what I really like found interesting was like you were talking about how at the time that you were growing up there was a lot of culture around football, and how when you
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
see these particular buildings you used to get inspired by it. I
yeah,
really
yeah.
want, like, I'm very curious to understand like how does the landscape, like, how is the landscape like? Is there a lot of sort of a lot of influence of architecture and architects in Senegal, or is it like a
Mhm.
mix? So, for example, like when I related to India, there are some centers which are like again your skyscrapers, but still
Yeah,
a lot of architecture and design is very vernacular and local
yeah.
to the context. So, is it like that as well? And over time, how have you seen like the the professions being chosen in Senegal sort of evolve?
Mhm. Yeah, it is the same. In Senegal, we have the capital, Dakar, and particularly the center called Plateau, where the ancient colony, the French, they were established in this area, and they have started to build the buildings, with this yeah colonial typology of building. And this Pierre Goudiaby Atepa is one of the first architects who was trained.
Hmm.
He was sent to America in Rensselaer, the Polytechnical Institute in Rensselaer, and he is the first one who came back. I think 1974. He came back, and the first president of Senegal, after the independence, because historically Senegal get his independence from France 1960, you know, and the former president, the first president, he used also to start to send students or pupils to abroad to train them, you know,
Okay.
get them built. And yeah, Atepa first project was this central bank, a very the tallest building. It was like 18 floors like that in the
Okay.
middle of Dakar, BCAO.
Okay.
And yeah, if not all the suburb, the area is, yeah, it is vernacular. And but right now there is a big change, and people are building,
Hmm.
and there are a lot of real estate developer, and nowadays there is some decentralization, I mean,
Got it.
and lot of people, lot of youngs want to involve the architecture fields, the
And
construction fields. Yeah, it
so
is
like
booming right now.
got it. Like, so from then to now, what you've seen is like how, obviously that time it had started to come up in terms of the construction or the kind of architecture. And now, because it's coming up in such a big way, more and more people are choosing construction industry as, one of their
Absolutely,
professions.
absolutely,
Interesting.
absolutely.
And you must be like some of the early people, early, students interested in it, going and getting curious about it.
Yeah, not the first, because I had what I maybe forgot to mention is, uh, I think there was one school created in Senegal, but it didn't last long time. And
Okay.
this school uh, uh, had trained some of the first architects. As Aptepa was sent to New York to study, the former president has tried to create a school of architecture in Dakar with his peers. I
Hmm.
mean, the other African presidents, they choose Senegal and they built a school, but this school didn't last long. I mean, it was closed because of problems between the states,
Okay.
and Senegal have chosen to send his citizens to go to learn architecture in European or in American country.
Got it.
Uh,
Okay.
And
I think
yeah,
that really helps like explain the context. One thing before we, understand, your journey post post winning that scholarship and going
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
France. One
yeah,
very beautiful thing that you talked about is how earlier you had a dream of being a footballer, and then when you
yeah,
just start going to school, you start seeing that building, it starts inspiring something in you. That
yeah,
you,
yeah,
hey, this is something I aspire to maybe build as well. So
absolutely.
I really want to, maybe understand that a bit from you in terms of, was it like you got curious and then you started inquiring, okay, who built this? Or how are these, buildings built? And that's what created that thought process in you. So how did that switch happen and what were the thoughts going on in your mind that time?
Yes, it was all together. How this is built? So how this was the question,
Mm.
and also it is very nice how it can, a very high structure can stay. You know,
Yeah.
it was all this question. But actually, to say something, uh, I can say this is like hazard how I came to architecture, because at the end, at the last year of the high school
Mm.
in Senegal, we used to do lot of competition, so not to go to the university, because when you go to the Senegal university, there are a lot of problems. They make uh, they struggles. What can I? There are a lot of problems, and the students, they try to make a lot of competition. You make I made, for example, in this last year of high school, I made this architecture competition. I made another competition for an engineering school. This engineering school, they are sponsored by Canadian.
Yeah.
I made also another competition to enter in the army, the health, to be like, because I like also, cows, and I wanted to be veterinary.
Okay.
I made also this competition, to open several doors, so not to go to the national university to.
Yeah.
And luckily I got this competition in architecture.
Got
I was member of these five chosen.
Wow.
So
So it was
that's
just
why
five
I'm.
of you that got selected for this.
Yes, yes,
That
yes.
might be a great
This,
moment.
yeah, of course, because yeah, I was the first of my family member to travel, to go abroad, and yeah, it was very nice, and I'm really enjoying this profession.
Nice.
I
Nice.
like it.
So
It is
happy
my
to hear
passion.
that.
Yeah,
All so Isaga, now let's say, you talked about getting through this, being part of the five students
yeah,
that were selected for this, like really valuable um
yeah,
scholarship. Now, what I
yeah,
imagine is next you sort of head out to France again, like a new space.
yeah,
Suddenly you're straight into architecture university. Um,
yeah.
how was that experience like for you? What was the perception of architecture that you had, which started changing over time? And what was college like?
Yeah, it was at the beginning. Yes, we were, because we were always also. It was a shock. It was a shock. It was a new culture. We landed in Paris in October 90, 1990. I remember very well. And so we got our rooms, all was fine. But we were 1 month late. I mean, they have started the courses. We joined 1 month later, because of so. So we come 1 month late, and the first day we come, we we were we enter in the amphitheater. Two tall guys, black guys, and one small. Uh, it was me, We enter, all French people looking at us. It was in a physics course, I remember. And actually, the first 2 years was not very, very hard for us, because it was a lot of. So in France, we had a lot of physics, mathematics, and descriptive geometry. Yeah, and it was the main courses. And with our background in Dakar, we didn't have a lot of problems. But the problems began really when we enter, to make projects, to design, the conceptual. Yeah, then it was, so we should, if we didn't focus, you know, we could not, make it. Because I tell it, because two of our peers, they abandoned, the architecture. Yeah, they stopped. And yeah, but it was amazing because Paris with these big boulevards, Osmanian buildings, and yeah, it was amazing. It was really a good experience. I enjoyed it. Our and we were also making a lot of travels through Europe. That's how I discovered after Germany, Czechoslovakia. It was very nice during our studies in France.
Nice. Isaga, was there any moment like where you also questioned architecture at that point? Because I mean, I think as architects, we all know the kind of uh project submissions like you talked about, suddenly everything is new. And you're somehow expected to be able to deliver a great design while knowing all the technicalities, while making sheets. So how was there any moment for you, or you just knew that you had to do this?
No, it was very hard. It was not so easy. Uh, in France, we had the theoretical course, and then we have the workshop. And for the projects in the workshops, we were in with you know the student from first year to the fifth years.
Yeah.
We were all together, and these people were helping a lot. Were showing us with the professors. We have the students with from other classes. They were helping a lot during this workshop, and this and actually I get integrated in the workshops,
Okay.
because in these workshops we had also uh, a music band. I am very I am I touch in everything. I was part in this music band, and this helped me to integrate with the French people. So when there was a project, I got every time help from elders, and really I enjoyed my stay in France, and
Nice.
that's how I could make it. Because with lot of works, nights works to get
Yeah.
the project delivered. It was very hard. And in this time, we were working on tables.
Hmm.
Tables with drawing, no
Yeah.
computer. The computer, I learned computer in Germany when I went to. It was 1996, October 1996. I went to Stuttgart through Erasmus program, exchange program from our school in Paris and the University of Stuttgart.
Oh wow, that's actually pretty interesting because because now that you again like from a time that you are describing it, that's when like AutoCAD, etc. It was mostly hand
Yeah,
drafting,
yeah,
those
yeah.
large
And
sheets.
drafting.
Yeah, the way you see it in a lot of movies till date. And then
Yeah.
but in Germany, what I understand is already these computers and all were integrated as part of the programs.
Yes, yes. In 1979. So I went there to actually prepare my diploma,
Oh,
9th October 1996. I went to Germany in Stuttgart, and I saw that they are using computer, because in France, during my stay at school, so we were learning informatics theoretically, but we never draw any line on the computer. That's when I went to Germany at the uni. I saw the students drawing with AutoCAD, and That's where I learned it. I started to learn, yeah, AutoCAD.
Nice. That must like how was that also like? Like so obviously those softwares were coming up during that time. It was still being adopted. I bet it would still be questioned to some extent because like again I think there's a lot of talk around hand drafting is the right way to learn something. And then suddenly computers are corrupting that aspect. So did you also hear a similar thing back then? Or were you very sort of tech first where you were like, okay, let's learn this is exciting.
Yeah, actually, yeah, when I discovered it, I told myself, yeah, you have to, yeah, to adapt. You have to learn it, and this is what I did. Now, if it is, I think yeah, it is amazing how it can help, how, because hand drafting with all these roles, with all this, with the computer, it is it makes the job much easier, and yeah, you can do more things with the tech.
Got it. Awesome. So, Isaga, now let's talk a bit around like what you've covered till now is like till the point of your diploma and thesis. Uh,
Mhm.
how was it post completing your university when you started entering like the actual work space and the
Mhm.
professional field? What was that
Mhm.
transition like? What kind of, companies or projects did you end up
Yeah.
working in? Uh, and
Mhm.
did you stay in France? How was that entire journey like for you?
Yeah, yeah. So actually, I must say I was lucky again.
Yeah,
Um, as I told you at the beginning, I am football fan. I was dreaming to play football, and my last year diploma
nice.
was a stadium, and I went to Germany during this year to prepare it, and I met there in Germany an architect, Ulrich Schimmermann. He's specialist in sport equipment,
Okay.
uh, in, in the suburb of Stuttgart in Murhat. So after the completion of my diploma, because from October 1996 to June 1997, I was in Germany. In June 1997, I went back to Paris to prepare the presentation of my final diploma. And I presented in November 1997 in Paris. And just day after, I went back to Germany because I during my stay in Germany I met Mr. Zimmerman, and he told me after the completion of your diploma you can come and make your internship in my office. So I went back to Germany, and he used to do only sport equipments, like sport hallen, and he made also one small stadium in Erfurt. Erfurt is it was in East Germany, because before Germany was divided into West and East, and the architecture bureau Zimmerman, Mr. Zimmerman, he designed and built a small stadium. And as a sport fan, because still now I am playing football. I like it. All my children, I have two sons
Yeah.
and two daughters. My sons, they are to come back, Mr. Zimmerman. So I work in his office 1 year as an internship, And then, yeah, normally as a foreigners, I should leave Germany after my studies, my internship. I should leave.
Yeah.
Now, to stay there, you must make a subscription in the university
Okay.
to stay again as student.
Yeah.
This is what I did, but through my contacts, because one of my German friend I met in the university,
Hmm.
his father is a professor in the University of
Okay.
Stuttgart. He's an architecture professor. He helped me to get another job in a architecture firm, Petri und Wittfort in Stuttgart, and it was amazing. We did. I was involved in some projects. We made a parking, automatic parking
Okay.
in Sindelfingen. I also worked in a restaurant project in Germany. So it was really from 1998 until 2001, when
Hmm.
I decided to go back to Senegal. I work in this uh, company, Petri und Wittfort in Stuttgart.
Got it.
But I was obliged to go to Senegal because I couldn't stay in Germany as a foreigner.
Okay.
I tried to get married with a
Yeah.
German lady, but my parents, they say no. you know, Cultural
Yeah. Yeah.
African Fulani,
Yeah.
they say you have to get
Oh
a
no.
Fulani girl. So that's how I came back to Senegal.
Okay. Oh my
Yeah,
God. Yeah, but that's actually very interesting, like that entire German experience. You're working on some interesting projects. You're
yeah,
exploring, and I think that might have been like also a very interesting point. A lot of your learnings during that time would have translated to, your future work, or, some things you
yeah,
would have picked up. And for you,
absolutely.
like, what was so once you ended up coming back to Senegal, did you sort of what was that experience like? How different was it from the work happening in Germany? And how did did you bring a lot of the learnings into your work when you shifted here?
Yeah, yeah. So when I decided to come back in Senegal, it was against my family. They say, why are you coming back in Africa? Stay in Europe. But I'm I'm a guy of challenge. I say I will come back because I can't stay here. Now it's time, because I was now 31, 32. I wanted to get married, to have family, and I love my profession. I tell, okay, I will come back. And my first and my only target was the Atepa office. I say I will not go. I don't have the possibility to make my office directly. My aim is to go to Atepa. And as you know, in Africa, Atepa, I don't know him personally. I don't know any people who know him directly. And he's a high level guy who is dealing with
Yeah.
presidents, and it's very hard to see him.
Yeah.
But I came, and I had my portfolio, all my projects prepared in a book. And during 1 week, I was making sitting in his office. I go in the morning, I
Yeah.
say I want to see the boss.
Yeah.
No, secretary, no, the boss is busy, the boss have traveled, you can't see him. From Monday to Friday, every morning I am there. I cannot see him. And the waiter, this is the waiter who gave me a tips. He told me, hey, if you want to see Mr. Atepa, you have to come on Saturday afternoon,
Okay.
because there is nobody in the office. he used to go to training and come back. And this is what I did. One Saturday I came in
Yeah.
the morning. The waiter told me, "Okay, sit here.
Yeah.
You will see him." And I this is how I met him. So he passed, and he went to his office, and then I'm sure he called the waiter and asked him, "Who is this young guy?" And the waiter explained him, and after that he told me to go up and meet him. So I met him the
Mm.
first time, the most famous architect of Senegal, or
Yeah.
I mean West Africa. And he was very nice. I explained him. I told him that I am a young Senegalese, who wants to come back and stay in Senegal, work for Senegal, and I show him what I did.
Yeah.
And it was very, very, very short. Huh? He told me, "Okay, come back on Monday, and you will see his one of his director."
Hmm.
And so this is how I entered in his office. And when I came, I met there two other architects,
Okay.
senior architects, and lot of very experienced, technicians, very old people. They started with Atepa from the beginning, from 1974, when he came back from America to build, to make his company, his office. So I met these guys. They are old, but they know the profession very well. They used to work in big project, and with these technicians and these two architects, so I integrate myself. It was not very easy, but with the passion, and
So
I
you
make my
got
proofs.
the job at the end.
Yes, yes. After
That's
three
so
months,
amazing.
yeah, 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 yeah. I stayed there during 4 years.
Wow.
From 2002, end of 1001, 2002 to 2006.
I
So
think
end
Isaga,
of 2005.
that's so exciting. That's like a proper full circle moment for you, like from like being a child looking up at his building and wanting to do that profession to actually going and working with the person.
With
That's
him, yeah, yeah,
really
and
nice.
very close to him. He was very close.
Yeah.
He was invited in the meeting in 2005. He was invited in a meeting in America. He told he will go with me. We went. We arranged all. It was my first time to get this 10-year visa. We arranged all visa things, and then the president of Senegal. These guys, they have always lot of things. So they change the plan. He says, "Oh, we cannot go to this meeting because the president wants me to go. I don't know, for another mission." So the meeting in America got cancelled, our travels. But just to explain that at the end, I was very close to him. He was calling me in his house, some private project. No, it was very nice. But uh, in 2006, I decided to change, actually, to
Okay.
go in another firm. I work with a French, an old French architect,
Okay.
who was also in Senegal. He was established in Senegal during long time,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I made also so nice projects over there. But
Nice.
just 1 year, and after I opened my own office.
That's lovely. What is the name of your firm called?
My, Iba is Isagaba,
Oh,
Iba and
okay.
Company.
Evan Company. Nice.
Yes, architects. Yes,
Nice. Lovely.
because
So, oh, got it. So basically, like post the work experience, at what age did you start your own firm?
Sorry.
At what age did you start your own firm?
Oh, I was 30, 37, or yeah,
Nice.
37, 37, because it was in 2007, 37. I decided to start my own firm, and I did it, because I got some relations,
Yeah.
I got some lot of private demands,
Hmm.
but the profession is very complicated also. It is not very, 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 very easy. It's not about only designing. You have to make
Hmm.
marketing.
Yeah.
It is not easy. uh, yeah, it is a hard job, and also financially you have to be
Yeah.
very smart. If you don't have this training, because
Hmm.
it is it is it is a completely different,
Yeah, I think
uh,
beyond a point,
not
it's like running a business, right? At the end of the day, because you
yeah, yeah, yeah,
got it.
it
And
is not.
one of the things that while you were talking about it, what's really interesting to me is that you've over your entire sort of professional journey seen the entire way architecture is happening in Senegal evolve. You've seen the way the technologies, tools, everything has also evolved over time. And you've been
Mhm.
part of pretty much the forefront of it because you were working for like the best architects of Senegal, and also
Yeah,
you ended up setting something of your own. So in
yeah.
terms of like if you were to reflect back around, how this landscape has evolved, or the technology, the workflows have evolved, um what would be your, like, what is your take on that, or how do you see that evolution happen in front of you?
So yeah, I must say that in Senegal, this actual evolution is not fully integrated in the offices, I can say.
Yeah.
I discovered, because I'm always looking the internet. Again, Novatr, I found it by Azad. Sorry, but when I check, these architectural reviews, Archie Daily, and I see how these big projects. I always wonder myself how it is designed, how it is managed, these big projects, and I got the chance also to work with a Turkish firm, a construction firm in Senegal. Um, there is one architecture company in Turkey, Tabanglioglu. They have designed the first conference center built in Senegal, and I got the chance to meet them through one of my yeah, he was my boss, because uh, after opening, to come back a little bit, after opening my company from 2007 to 2012, I got to suspend it, because because of, yeah, business problem, and I got an opportunity to travel again in Equatorial Guinea through
Okay.
through contacts. And when I came back to Dakar in 2012, I worked for the president advisor, architecture advisor, Senegal
Wow.
ex-president advisor, and that's how we I got the chance to work in this conference, international conference center. And this project was designed by Tabanglioglu Architects. They are in Turkey, and this is a big architecture company. And I saw their presentations. It was amazing how all things are detailed, uh, And but the thing is, the construction company, they don't give us, the Revit files, or I never know even about Revit,
Okay.
but they don't give us the AutoCAD files. We only get PDF sheets, we
Okay.
have to print to I didn't know how they prepare it, how they do it, with which uh, programs. But anyway, they came, we worked with them to build this conference center. As the president advisor, our role was to get the plan from Tabanglio Blue, to help them when they make presentation, as they are not talking French, to help them. We were the link with the government. I mean, when they during the design phase, during the presentation, and also during the construction phase, we were going to the meetings. And yeah, our role was not the design, the concept,
Hmm.
actually. So we were also making some comments when some we wanted some modifications. We make some proposal. It was always very a big fight with them, because they had a very short limited time to build the facility. And yeah, by approaching them, I wanted to know how we can do such big projects and manage it. And after the completion of the training of this conference center, I made it all to enter inside this company, because we know each other. And they make me an offer to go to Congo Brazzaville,
Okay.
to go to Congo, because they were building another conference center there. And during this time, I was member of the technical office. The technical office, we were the link between Summa Congo and Summa Turkey. And I start to see, the architectural files,
Hmm.
the AutoCAD files, the Revit files. We were making weekly reports. I was helping them also with when they had some meetings with, because they are only speaking English. I was translating from French to English. This is where I discovered. But during the construction site time, you don't have a lot of time. There is a lot of things to do. You have to make the things happen. Even no time to learn, to ask people. You have to do your job. And but this is how I told myself, hey, you have to learn these new tools, because it is amazing how you can make a conference center, lot of people involved, because you have consultants which are in London, sitting in London. The architect is in Turkey, but lot of consultants throughout the world, how they work together. It was amazing. This is how I wanted to learn these tools. And I learned it to Novatr by hazard in the web. Google. I don't know how.
That's so interesting.
This
I
is
think, like, what I really liked about this is that you started, obviously you were working on this conference, and then you started seeing how are they, you got curious, how are they coming up with, these details, these plans, and so many drawings for something of that scale. And you started digging deep into it. And what I loved
yeah,
is like you got into that company because you were that curious to understand how
yeah, yeah,
they do
yeah.
that. So, and that's the
Absolutely.
first. So, what I'm understanding is like, as part of the practices you were before, you were in before, there was nothing like this happening. And then enter this company, and you're suddenly like blown away by the scale at which
Yeah,
they're working.
absolutely, absolutely. and working with the young Turkish
Yeah.
engineers, which were very talented. They
Yeah.
know everything. And while we were only stock AutoCAD, and they were, and also in Excel, they can make tables, Excel tables. Amazing. I learned a lot by working with them. And
And Saga, like one of the questions is like, did you not ever feel overwhelmed? Like, so I see like you were very curious. Did you not ever feel overwhelmed by it? That, obviously you were already at a stage in your career where you were project managing. So that's obviously,
yeah,
always considered as a higher up aspect. And then, but you are rather than thinking, oh, this is, their work, you become
yeah.
actually curious about it and say that, okay, I want to go back and learn this. How did that happen? And like, what were you thinking about it?
No, because my thought or my idea was always why a Senegalese office cannot do like this.
Hmm.
We must achieve this kind of things locally. And as far as I know, there is no architects who can do it. This is, I want to say, okay, I will learn it and bring it here to my country. This
Right.
is how I say, okay, I'm going to go and learn it. This is always making this challenge for, so a lot of people saying, you are wasting time, because what I should say is, my colleagues, some of my colleagues who stayed here, they get rich, by doing simple things, schools and normal building, but with the ancient method, they are rich, they are running big car. But me, I let my family here, I go abroad, but I got the knowledge. Maybe I take some. Uh, I, I see. Maybe I don't have a big office,
Yeah.
but I am happy. And one day, what I want is to share it. It will happen maybe to give it back to the next generation, because I think this is how things should go.
That's a beautiful thought. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and
yeah,
Isaga, like, now coming back to the fact that, this is something that you really believed in. I'm
mhm.
very curious to understand how did you discover Novator? And why did you even decide to, do this program? Like what
Yeah.
clicked for you? And again, like you can just give me an honest, understanding of this.
No, how I discovered, as I told you, this was I was searching. I
Hmm.
was searching, and the first person I have contacted, I think his name is Anushil, if I
Okay, yes,
remember.
Anushi, yes, that's right.
Anushil, this is one of the first guy I have contacted
Yeah.
several times, asking him every day, oh, how can I will I get accepted for this program? I'm talking French. I can talk little bit English, and so, and
So perfectly.
uh, I'm trying, and actually, honestly, I was blown to see what can be done, what can be achieved. So I'm still struggling with
Yeah.
the tools, with Revit, with I'm I I don't give. I mean, Ashdeep, every time I'm asking question, I'm making pressure on him.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He's helping me a lot. And yeah, it is amazing what can be done with Revit. And I know I have still lot of things to learn.
And Isaga, like, for example, like obviously you would have had a certain idea of what you wanted to learn, or how the program might be like. How was that experience for you? Did it, like, was it close to what you were expecting? Was it less? Was it more? In terms of, also studying online, that would have also been like an experience in itself. Then from a cultural perspective as well, I know that there are different people within the cohort, across
Mhm.
ages, across, backgrounds. So how was that
Yeah.
like for you? Did you make friends?
Yeah, of course. Uh, Learning online is something really new. It was a very, very good experience. This was the first time I did it, and yeah, I can say it is stay at home and learn these new tools. So, but usually you have to go to the uni and spend a lot of times, and it was amazing. And actually, yeah, I made a lot of friends. I mean, through LinkedIn with
Yeah.
the Cohort 15, we you know, it is very a great experience, learning, being part to this Novator team, and what is amazing is what can be done with these tools. This is amazing. The presentations, uh, Revit is I don't know who have so the engineers who create this software are very smart.
And in terms of,
I'm really
sorry, and sorry to cut you.
no, I was saying that I'm really really happy, and I really want to master this program, and lot of others. I mean, Reno also. I just and actually, Novator opened my mind to these new technologies, because when I see something, I no Novator helped me to to be in the trend. This is the now I can say I am from the old school, but I am beginning to shift to the new generation, thanks to Novator.
Got it. No, so
Mm.
Isaga, like, also I wanted to understand, like, you mentioned Ashdeep, you're part of the group.
Yeah.
He's your industry guide, and just wanted to understand, in terms of from your learnings with mentors, was there any topic that stood out for you wherein you're like, oh, this is something interesting that I need to go take back. So if you could maybe share like any mentor that you like the sessions of, or just generally how
Yeah.
your industry guide group has been. What was
Mm.
that experience like for you as well? And you can also give feedback in where you think we can improve as well. Like, I would love to
Yeah.
hear both the sides of it.
Yeah. No, they are amazing. So the mentors who impress me, or who really I appreciate their course is so Mahmoud Hanafi is very funny, and I was very focused during his course, and
Yeah.
also Mr. Torres, is Torres, one guy who is doing. I think we learn with him this adaptive component,
Okay.
Torres, if I mention, and also there is one lady who was in we I think we learned with him. I think Navis work. I remember
Tanya.
she is sitting in Rotterdam. Yes, I was also very very impressed by his. Actually, all of them. And regarding, yeah, Ashdeep, he helped a lot. He's always ready. I'm pushing him every time. And but what I wanted, these queries. Uh, I think it is too. no, not complicated, but you have to send the queries, and you
Yeah.
stay two days before getting feedback. I think if it could be, be more direct. I have a problem. I through Slack, because Slack is like WhatsApp. If you
Yeah.
could do it and get the answers quickly, because when you do something, you have some problems,
Hmm.
you want to solve it now. But if you send the queries, you cannot move forward. You stay 2 days, you get the answer,
Yeah.
and you have some other things to do. It is a little bit hard, maybe. And also, what I don't know, because I'm saying why we cannot do Novatr Senegal, French, because the problem, I have talked with some colleagues to make them to involve this course. I have a good architect friend. He's
Hmm.
an American actually,
Okay.
but his origin is from Kenya. He,
Okay.
he came here in Dakar. He stayed in my house, and we worked together in some projects before. We met in Atepa office actually,
Okay.
and from Virginia Tech, he came to Atepa office.
Hmm.
He spent 2 months, and he went back to America. It was in 2003, I think, 2003.
Okay.
We know each other, William Guter. Now he is architect in Washington. I told him about Novator. I think he got a contact. He talked, but he didn't subscribe.
Okay.
And here in Senegal, my other colleagues, lots of them are not talking English very well. And
Hmm.
I think uh, Novator, I don't know, maybe it will be difficult to find French talking architects to make this course, but it is a field which we should think about how to have some mentors talking French. So, because this is so interesting, a lot of people want to
Yeah.
learn these skills. You should think about this these things.
Hopefully, like maybe in some time you can also teach what you
Yeah, I hope.
and you can.
Yeah, definitely. This is I will do it. This is one of my. But teaching is something very. I never intend. I never did, because you have to be able to share.
Yeah.
I never. I but I feel that I must share. With okay, because in my team, I'm the only architect in my office right now. I have two technicians. So these boys are learning a lot of things.
Got
They
it.
cannot they are not working with Revit. For the moment, I am the only one who is drawing with Revit.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are learning, and yeah, the objective is to share the knowledge,
And this.
because people are doing amazing things in Dubai, in London, in
Yeah.
New York. Very nice presentation and very detailed uh, drawings, and yeah, it's amazing.
Good. And Isaga, like in terms of, like you would have been doing a lot of assignments, building projects as part of the program. How has that been going? How have you been managing that with work?
Yeah,
And how have you been building your set of projects as a part of the program as well?
yeah. I'm trying to, yeah, to mostly during the nights. I'm working on my assignment, During the day, I have to do some uh, daily routine. I have some projects going on, designing some villas, offices. I have to go some meetings, but mainly in nights, I am trying to do my assignment, and it's not very easy, but I'm trying my best. Right now, I must complete the stage 5
Yeah.
is lot of tasks, but it is very. I'm happy to work on these projects, and I
Do you
hope in the final.
Yeah. Do you ever like, sort of think like this? Because like how do you view the practical assignments? Because sometimes it's just like, oh my God, there's so much work or there are exams. So for you to get back into that learning phase, manage that, is there anything that keeps you motivated or going through all of that?
Yeah, of course, because this is the way. I am very motivated because this is the way things are done in the practical. You know, when to make the work sets. I mean, the capstone. I am really motivated. This is just a lack of time to get concentrated and do it of one time. But yeah, I have no problem with that, and I'm really happy to make this course, and I hope I will make it to finalize the capstone and
Of course, I'm
go forward with other things.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. And I think, like the main things that I also feel is that while this subject is there, I think it requires a lot of effort with respect to doing the practical side of it. Otherwise, you never really end up implementing that knowledge, which you
Mm.
ultimately need to get back to the workspace. So I'm glad like you look at assignments from a very positive perspective. I really appreciate that. And one of the things that I, do definitely want to also touch upon is that you had talked initially about how your main goal is to take that back to your country to, sort of make sure that the new technologies and bridge that gap between new generation and old generation. Um, Fast forward to let's say a year from now or fast forward to next 6 months, what do you imagine yourself doing or how do you imagine yourself taking these learnings and implementing it with the vision that you talked about?
Yeah, and I have started to do it. I mean, my first project designs with Revit was, yeah, I got a demand from a client, a villa, and I designed it with Revit and using all these techniques,
Nice.
presentation techniques, and it was the clients was very happy. So I have to change the volumetry because I go with some round element, and he didn't like it. He want to be more, But I mean, I have started to implement it. I have right now some projects, some demands. I must design office and another. I mean, some for the firefighter, in Senegal. They want to build a camp or barrackments,
Okay.
and I will design it, and I want to do it with Revit. You know, that's why I am very, very, very happy to learn these skills. And but the thing is, my I don't know how Novator or somebody can help me to get like a partner, a direct partner, an architect who can, we can do the projects together, and it will help me, to have to get all these skills,
Hmm.
um, this is also one of my target, to have a collaborator or partner, so to because I will not be able to do everything.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But if
I think that's a really good point in terms of I think it's not just about like what you do during the program, but what you do after that. How do you
Yeah,
continuously revise that same concept, put it to use in your own
mm,
practice? That will really make that difference. Otherwise, it's just
mm,
like, sort of learning something and then not
yeah,
going back and applying it to real life. So I think that's like for me, that's a really good takeaway. And
mm,
Sagar, like the last thing would be, like you said, you've already started implementing it, so it's not just post program, you're already
yeah,
on it. Uh,
mm,
and like at the end, I would, just like to ask, like in terms of if you have any advice for, young architects from Senegal who are like looking at, building a career, what can
mm,
they learn from your overall experience of seeing the industry evolve, and anything that you'd like to inspire the younger
inspire.
generation for.
Yeah. So my first advice will be to love what you you will enter, what you want to do, to have the patience. Because if you have the patience, when you love it, you are ready to tackle. You are ready to fight for to get the. You are ready to, because it is hard. It is not easy. So the passion, the love of what you do, this is my first advice.
Yeah,
And the second is, yeah, to want to discover, to be ready to, and to have the patience to learn this nice job, because we are transforming the world. We are reshaping
yeah,
the cities, and it is very exciting, when you live in an area and you can be one of the people who can, make your marks by letting a building, so this is my advice: to love what you do, and yeah, to go forward. Nothing is impossible.
nice. And do you sort of also imagine that someday there'll be a child who'll look at your building and be like, oh, Isaga built this, and sort of want to pursue architecture?
Yeah, so yeah, try to do your best when I design, when a child see my building, to be amazed,
Yeah.
to try to touch the curiosity and the sensitivity of people.
Hmm.
And I forgot to say that when I decided to come back to stop now working for others in
Yeah.
2019, I came back to Dakar. I got again a big opportunity. This was my first own state project. I got the
Wow.
opportunity to design the School of Marines. This was amazing. Through a friend, we were in the primary school together, and yeah, brave. He gave me this project, and it was a good laboratory for me, a good
Hmm.
entering. And yeah, I made some nice buildings, some offices, and
Nice.
even I got recognitions. There was like from the president, from the state president. I got like a diploma saying, and yeah, it is an honor. I made a school. it will remain last. The architect is Isaga, you know.
That's lovely.
Yeah, it makes happy, you
That's really sweet.
know.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
And Isaga, is there like if you could answer one simple statement. So we asked this like wherein we are saying that okay we want to also as innovator be part of building a better tomorrow. One of the questions like I have for you is like if you were to in one line describe what is a better tomorrow for you, uh, what is
Mm.
that like?
Yeah, a better tomorrow. It is yeah, better tomorrow is where people are living peacefully, and in a very nice environment, sustainably. And I think architect can and we can give a big part in this thematic by designing nice buildings, by designing sustainable buildings, by integrating landscapes, and to give people this interior peace, these feelings when they see a nice building with the landscape all well organized. Yes, for me, this is to this better tomorrow is to help or to give people the possibility to live in a nice, in a lovely environment.
Got it. That's
And this is the role of the architects.
Thank you for sharing that. And for you, what do you think is the future of BIM in Senegal, um, as per you?
The future, I think it will come. So we are obliged to grab this because there is no way. If not, we will be always dependent from others. And some elders are creating schools, and I think the idea is to share with them this possibility to learn BIM, to integrate, to make it to integrate it in their program. But before that, we have to have big good professors, who mastered it. But I think there is a big future here because African Senegalese society is very young.
Hmm.
Uh, more and more people, uh, they want to study these RAC fields,
Hmm. Hmm.
and BIM have a good a big future here in our countries, of
Got it.
course, like in other sectors,
Hmm.
also this BIM is have a great future here.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. Isaga, is there anything else that you'd like to share? It was lovely talking to you today and understanding and learning about your journey. I think it has
Yeah,
been very interesting, a lot of ups and downs and like
yeah,
experiences which have been very rich. Um,
yeah.
so if there's anything that I missed out or you want to add or share additionally, um, you can do so.
Actually, I am also very thankful to be invited to talk about my experience. And my only demand is to try to give this French version, this Novatr French version.
Sure.
This is, yeah, so as to give the possibility to the, yeah, to the French students, to learn this through your exceptional platform.
Got it.
Really.
Thank you so much, Isaga, and
Thank,
thank you so
thank
much
you,
for
Anna.
even trusting Novator to be that
Yeah, yeah,
platform that you upskill on,
yeah,
to make that decision, to be like courageous enough to, take that decision to learn something new.
yeah.
So thank you so much, and would love to, maybe we'll keep in touch.
Of course.
We would definitely be, this conversation. There are, I think, some very interesting and inspiring bits that we would love to share with more
Yeah.
people to inspire them. We will, definitely let you know on that aspect. And yeah, thank
Okay.
you so much again for coming on this call.
Thank you, Mrs. Panda. Thank you very